Hello, friends. Today we will talk about the theory of justice given by John Rawls. First of all, for that, let us go through the beginning. What is justice? Mainly, justice can be said as fairness, equity, and equality. Mainly, we can consider the difference of equity as well as equality. Sometimes all should be treated equally in front of law, but there are some cases where someone deserves more attention or someone deserves more opportunity than the mainframe person. We can consider equity through the word that is, say, let us suppose there is the difference between equity as well as equality is sometimes confusing. The difference is that we can understand from an example, that is, A and B are two persons where A is a little more fat person or has more hunger than B. In that case, there are four bread. If A needs three bread and B needs a bread, one bread can be enough, is enough for B to uh, maintain his appetite. Then we can give three breads to A and a bread to E. This is equity. If we give two bread to both A and B, that is equality. But sometimes it is seen that equality can also be a problem for the appropriate justice delivery. So further we can see the administration of what is morally right. It involves the impartial treatment of individual. Yes, individual should be treated impartially. A person who is backwarded should be given opportunity that will help every person to get justice. A person in need of justice should be given. Every person should have their right enjoyed by them. uh, the we can also understand it as the equitable distribution of resources should be distributed in a fair way. Mainly we have seen that a rich person uses all the resources that are there, but this should not be the case. Every person should get equal opportunity to use the resources, which will be a just thing. And the fair adjudication of dispute means fair hearing of dispute. A person should not be favored. We can also understand these things through theory of natural justice, which says that there should be no person involved, or we can say that there no one can be judged in his own case, or both the parties should be given equal opportunity for hearing are some of the factors that are related to the fair adjudication of justice. There are various theories and interpretation of justice, but in general sense aims to ensure that individuals receive what they are due. Means if a person has right, his rights should be protected as well as given opportunities, and if a person does something very wrong, then he should be punished. This is also the concept of justice. So after that, mainly this is the background you have to understand before going to thoroughly understand what is justice of John Rawls. Now let us take a short look on the types of justice. Mainly there are four types of justice, as you can see. First one is distributive justice. This justice concerns with the allocation of resources in a fair way. Mainly, we can see in the rich and poor. A rich person pays taxes, the government collect the taxes from the rich and give subsidies to the poor. We can see a quota system that is used in our country by the government for the backward community. That is also an example of distributive justice. Mainly distributive justice concerns with the distribution of resources to the needed people, or the people who are not in the mainframe or mainstream. Now let us talk about procedural justice. We also call it corrective justice. Mainly procedural justice deals with, the thing is that it focuses on the procedure to get the legal remedy. Mainly to get the legal remedy, mainly it has said that the process of getting the justice is all should be fair. Both the parties should be heard, as well as we can say both persons should get equal opportunity to make their points, and the investigation of a crime should be fair, as well as no biasness for a party should be given are some of the cases you need to understand about procedural justice. The third one is called retributive justice. It is only concerns about the punishment. A person who does wrong should be given adequate punishment according to the seriousness of crime. A person who just broke a teeth of another person, then that person should not be given the life imprisonment punishment. Or a person who does a fraud of 1 lakh rupees should not be given a penalty of 1 crore rupees. That is unfair. Punishment should be according to the crime. This is the concept of retributive justice. The fourth one is the new best concept, I think. This is called restorative justice. Restorative justice is mainly concerned with two things. That is, it helps the community to regain its initial form from the harm, as well as we can see if a community construction has been, a house has been broken, then developing that house. Restorative justice concerns with the restorative justice concerns with the process of rehabilitating the offender, or making the relation of the various parties, the offender, the victim, the community, in good position. Mainly we can say a person hit or destruct. If a person damage a community hall, then there should be a meeting between the offender, the communities people, as well as the civil society, from which our solutions can be came. It is also considered as the oldest way of giving justice, as used to do in the very early stage of humankind. Now let us talk about John Rawls. John Rawls is one of the lead judge, or a lead person to make great contribution in the legal field of justice. He wrote a book called A Theory of Justice, published in 1971, which is very popular. In this book, he had said two main things, that is, the original position and the veil of ignorance. In this concept, original position means the person should be at the very original position where he does not have any kind of race, caste, any kind of original position means a person should be kept away from his caste, his family background, his religion, his state, his community, and from then that position a veil of ignorance. All of these things should be ignored, and the position from the okay, the original position and the veil of ignorance. The concept is veil of ignorance says that a person should be free from caste, community, race, or anything that make a biasness and should go to a original position as a person borns in that case he doesn't know any caste, any religion. From the very original position justice should be delivered, because we can say that a judge came from very backward society, might have some traditional views on something, and in that context the judge can give a decision from the influence of his community or of his morals. So as well as a white person can sometimes favor white, then the black or person of same caste can give favor for on that context, and there should not be such cases. So a person who want to give justice should stand in the original position and try to deliver the justice fairly. Difference principle and fair equality of opportunity means mainly there is a concept that every person has different choice, and if A and B are two person, A chooses to be businessman and B chooses to be a job holder, and if A get more money or earns more money than B, then that is justice in spite of any help has been given by the family. And mainly we can say that if you have some confusion, we can say from a original position, if a two person are in a original position where there is no any type of other interferences, in that case if they chooses to be to do different thing and one get more money and another get less money, then that cannot be said as a concept that is called that cannot be said they cannot be said there cannot be said or just injustice has been occurred. In that case justice is delivered, because there is mainly concept of choice, fair equality of opportunity should be given, but from the opportunity of person chooses his own. Justification and implementation. Rawls argue that this principle would be chosen in the original position because rational individual would want to secure their own liberties and ensure a fair distribution of resources and opportunity, not knowing where they might end up in the social hierarchy. Okay, if a person is in the original position, he doesn't know anything about in which state he is, and in that case he can deliver very precisely a justice, a balance between. Okay, mainly their role of institution is also very high, the court, the executive, and all the implementing of law societies should work together. For the justification we can say that A and B are two person. If A cuts the cake into half and should be divided into A and B, then B should choose the first piece. In that case, A would cut more accurately into two half, by which if A cut a cake and B eat take the first piece, then A will surely assure that he also get equal like B. That is the case where justice could be delivered in more accurate way. Administration of justice can be delivered more accurately. Now let us talk about the criticism. Rao's theory has faced several critics. Mainly, some critics argue that the government should not give the subsidies to the poor person, the person, the enlightened people. In the criticism, some argue that it is too idealistic and difficult to apply in practice. Others, like Robert Nozick, who is the great critic of John Rawls from a libertarian perspective, argue that his principle might imagine an individual freedom and property right. Despite these critics, Rawls' work had an impact in the